Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Welcome to 10 Talk Tuesday. So, reading tarot cards, is it divine intervention or is it basic psychology 101? Let's take a look at that, shall we? Okay, welcome back. I want to ask you, do you believe that it is magic? Do you believe that it is divine intervention and the guides and the spirits and the energies that are moving you and telling you what to read in the cards? Or do you believe that it's pretty much just psychology 101? Or is it a combination of both? I know people who swear blind that tarot reading is magic, that the cards are divinely chosen by universal energies, or that the reader is guided by spirits and guides and perhaps even familiars to choose the cards they choose. They are then helped by their guides, their spirits, their ancestors, whoever have come to the party. They are then helped by those entities in the interpretation of the cards and thus the interpretation of the reading. Me personally, I believe it's psychology 101. I do not call up spirits before a tarot reading. I don't believe I need spirits in the room to help me do a tarot reading. I know my cards, I know the meanings. I am intuitive to a large degree, so I get to feel clients' energies. I know body language. I've been around for long enough to, and having done this for so long, that I can read people's body language. I can see when they are asking something between the lines. Even when I read questions that are sent to me, I don't believe that I need to call my spirits and guides and the elementals into the room to interpret those questions for me. I can interpret the questions and look at those questions, how they've been phrased, how they've been written. I can read between the lines. It's just something that I can do. And it's something that I believe any really good tarot reader or any tarot reader worth their salt can do or should be doing. I do not believe that reading tarot cards is an esoteric, wildly energetic kind of, abracadabra thing to do. It is something that I could probably teach somebody in a day how to do if they know their card meanings. I could teach somebody in a day how to do a 5-card spread, and they would do a pretty good 5-card spread. I could teach you basic interpretation. It's something that can be taught. Reading tarot cards can be taught. And that is why you don't only see tarot cards being sold in witchy shops and in esoteric shops. You can walk into Barnes & Noble. You can walk into, you guys have Walmart overseas. You can walk into any stationery store overseas, particularly. In South Africa, we have Exclusive Books. It's a bookstore. And you can pick up a relatively decent pack of tarot cards or angel cards or oracle cards, and you can go home and you can read the little book and you can do the reading. Now, if it relied entirely on or solely on or to a large degree on you calling up spirits and getting in touch with your familiars and bringing the energies and the elements in from outside and all that stuff, then not everybody would be able to do this, because not everybody can do that. Please don't get me wrong. I am not saying that it's a load of crap. I'm not saying that calling on spirits and inviting your guides in is a load of rubbish. I believe in that. I believe in spirits and guides and energies and angels, and I believe in all of that. Okay, I don't work with all of it, but I believe in it. And I am not saying that that is rubbish. What I am saying, and I have a feeling I've said this before, is I do not believe that to do a decent tarot reading, you have to use every single weapon in your arsenal. You don't have to call up the ancestors to do a reading. Let me explain what I do. Let's take a face-to-face reading, because they are always the easiest, the absolute easiest to do. Face-to-face reading, I look at the client whilst doing the reading. I assess them. I deeply study them. I look at them from across the reading table and I look for signs. I look for little tiny signs that I'm either on the right track or the wrong track. Okay, and I then look at my cards and I apply what I'm seeing in the cards to what I'm seeing in the client. So let us say that I look at the cards and there is a tall, dark, handsome stranger imminent. I'm using that as an example. I've never had that come up in a reading before. The tall, dark, handsome stranger, I say it is a male figure. I look across at the client. I can see that the client is a bit confused, hesitant. I would then say it's your father. No, my father's died. Okay. But then it is, to me, it has the feel of a father. That card represents a familial entity. I can judge I'm not going to say it's your father, because I can see that she's confused. It's not my father's dead. Then, okay, the card isn't wrong. My interpretation of the card is not wrong. It is a father figure. Okay. So I could say it's a father figure. And instead of saying it is your father, it is a father figure, the tall, dark, handsome stranger. The other thing with face-to-face readings is it's very easy to understand what the client is not asking you. And I think in any tarot reading, you need to look at what the client is not asking you. And this you can get by looking at the client. Body language, eye contact, the way they are sitting with their hands, what they do with their hands, are they fidgety, all these little body language signals will keep you on the right track. You will understand that when she says, will I get married? That's not what she's actually asking. She's asking, when will I fall in love, or whatever. Read between the lines. Now, I don't need my guides and my spirits to help me do that. I'm empathic to a certain degree. And I know people. I deal with people all the time. And that's why it's so important, if you want to be a really, really good tarot reader, to study people. Go and do a little counseling course. Go and do a little course on human behavior. Do a tiny little course on different personality types, if you can. If you really, really want to get into this like full time and dedicate yourself to it. Go and do a little course on personality types. Go and do a little course on, a really good thing to do would be a small 6-month basic counseling course. It is just going to help you assess your clients. And that to me is psychology. I use psychology in my readings more than what I would use magic, okay, or energy. Now, having said that, there are times when I do feel more energy in the room. One of those times is when I have my dog in the room. He brings a certain energy into the room. Sometimes I can just feel perhaps a negative energy that has been brought into the room. So yes, energies do play a part to a certain extent. Perhaps that negative energy has been brought in with the client or has accompanied the client. There's a difference. There's a difference between energy that the client brings into the room and the energy that is accompanying the client. Sometimes that client doesn't know they've been followed by energy. So for me, it's 99.9% psychology, doing a reading of tarot cards, and the other 0.1% is the magic, where the magic happens. However, for some of you, it might be 99.9% energies. You might not be able to do a reading without calling on the spirits to help, all right? Or you might be afraid to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just would like to know from you who does what. It would just be very interesting. I find this particular subject extremely interesting, and it is something that a lot of my friends speak to me about, because the first question people want to know is, how does it work? How does this work? How can you tell things? And I assume that this is a slightly easier answer, or a slightly more acceptable answer, and a truthful answer, more than saying, well, it's magic. Okay. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me how you do readings. Tell me if this has helped you in any way, if it's made you think slightly differently in any way. And yeah, you know who I am. I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot, and I will see you on the flip side.